What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the Hoosier Stereo podcast. Don't know what episode it is, but we're up there in numbers.
I think we're 16.
16. Yeah. I think today we're reading the end of Exodus chapter 4 into chapter 5. And we'll just see what happens after that. You know, we're just rolling with the punches today. So
someone did not get the memo that we're wearing polos today.
Yeah. But he's repping Hoosier Stereo, though.
Okay,
so
you know what? It's okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
We're good. Me and Camden are our church clothes.
Yeah.
So.
With that being said, Deaven, you want to start us off? Exodus chapter 4, verse 18.
All right.
Should we give people time to turn to their Bibles first?
Yeah.
We'll
give you some time.
Bit?
Wow.
This section is titled Moses Returns to Egypt.
Yes.
Well, we'll give you time. The next podcast episode will be the last one of the season.
No. That's all good.
Camden's devastated.
We're ending at 17.
We've given you guys a bunch of stuff to ponder on until the next
Yeah,
season
if you aren't
starts.
happy with what we made, then that's a you problem.
Yeah, man.
Not an us problem.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right, you should be there by now. If you don't know where Exodus is, you're cooked.
Okay.
All right.
And if you know where Exodus is, you cooked. There's a difference.
Yeah. You're on fire. Get it? Because of the burning bush. All right,
We're
Deaven.
cooking here today, guys. We're on fire, literally.
The Dayquil, man. It's running through my veins. All right, Deaven.
Then Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, "Let me return to my own people in Egypt and see if any of them are still alive." Jethro said, "Go, and I wish you well." Now the Lord had said to Moses in Midian, "Go to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you are dead." So Moses took his wife and sons, put them on a donkey, and started back to Egypt. And he took the staff of God in his hand. The Lord said to Moses, "When you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all wonders I have given you the power to do. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go." Then say to Pharaoh, "This is what the Lord says. Israel is my firstborn son, and I told you, let my son go so he may worship me. But you refused to let him go, so I will kill your firstborn son."
At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me," she said. So the Lord let him alone. At that time she said, "bridegroom of blood," referring to circumcision. The Lord said to Aaron, "Go into the desert to meet Moses." So he met Moses at the mountain of God and kissed him. Do you want to?
Yeah, I can take it from there. Yeah. Moses then told Aaron about everything that the Lord had commanded him to say. And he told him about the miraculous signs the Lord had commanded him to perform. Then Moses and Aaron returned to Egypt, and called all the elders of Israel together. Aaron told them everything that the Lord had told Moses, and Moses performed the miraculous signs as they watched. Then the people of Israel were convinced that the Lord had sent Moses and Aaron. When they heard that the Lord was concerned about them and had seen their misery, they bowed down and worshipped. All right.
I like the name Jethro.
Jethro.
Bring that back.
It's tough. I like Zipporah too, man.
Zipporah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there like Zip for short?
Zip?
Zip.
Yeah, I'd say. Or Pora.
No.
not Pora?
No.
You want a Pora?
No.
I'm not either.
I feel like you have to, most of the time, abbreviate the first part of the name.
Yeah.
Like, you don't call Nathaniel's Nathaniel.
I guess that's true. I mean, like, Moses would be Mo, you know?
Wouldn't be sis.
I wouldn't be sis. No. Yeah, I guess that's a really good point, yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah, there's not a a ton there? I mean,
I don't know. There's not much to unpack here. I feel like it pretty much tells you what happens, and then
just kind of,
it's pretty matter of fact.
Moses acting on what God told him to do.
Yeah.
Going back to Egypt and kind of gathering the forces for the Exodus itself. So
yeah, all the people that wanted Moses were dead. So
exactly,
he was able to go back and fulfill that.
Heck yeah.
Surely there's more we can talk about with this, right? Like, we've only been rolling for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
do you guys want to start 5?
I don't know.
Oh, we can do 5.
Okay.
Well, just until verse 5, because I feel like we can do bricks without straw in the next episode. Because this is just, the beginning of chapter 5 through the first 5 verses is just Moses and Aaron talking to Pharaoh.
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll read Exodus 5, 1 through 5.
Yeah. There's 3 of us, so I guess.
No, you can just read it, since
Me?
he kind of gave you the butt of the last part. Yeah.
All right, cool. Sounds good. All right, Exodus chapter 5. After this presentation to Israel's leaders, Moses and Aaron went and spoke to Pharaoh. They told him, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Let my people go, so that they may hold a festival in honor of me in the wilderness." "Is that so?" retorted Pharaoh. "And who is thy Lord? Why should I listen to him and let Israel go? I don't know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go." But Aaron and Moses persisted. "The God of the Hebrews has met with us," they declared. "So let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness so that we can offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. If we don't, he will kill us with a plague or with the sword." Pharaoh replied, "Moses and Aaron, why are you distracting the people from their tasks? Get back to work. Look, there are many of your people in the land, and you are stopping them from their work." That kind of segues us into the next part of Pharaoh kind of punishing.
Moses drops the iconic bar of "let my people go."
It's the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Let my people go.
So much more after that.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. You will know later.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Oh, man. I do feel like it's hard to talk about this in chunks.
Yeah.
We're learning.
Old Testament kind of just,
Yeah, well, it's not like in, I don't know, it's not like in Matthew where like you'll just be reading and like one section will just be like a teaching of Jesus that you can just talk about. Or even just like stories in Matthew where it's like even just the way Jesus is talking to the disciples, it's like, oh, well, you can unpack that. This is just like Moses and Aaron go to Pharaoh and they're like, "Let my people go," and Pharaoh's like, "No, you're keeping them from working." And then that's pretty much all that's being said.
Well, I mean, you can also, I guess, take away from this, is like persistence, perseverance, and not giving up, doing what God told you to do.
See, but I feel like that just covers the whole story of Moses.
It does. A lot of the Old Testament is just.
So I feel like we could just save that for whenever we read the bigger story of Moses. Yeah.
Well, I think that covers our Bible readings today.
Yeah. What else can we talk about here before we go a little off the rails and talk about Q&A with Cammy J? Is there any other things we can talk about as far as, I don't know, Hoosier Hysteria or the Bible or reading?
I think by the time this is published, this video, I think the applications should have been sent out. If not, they're like literally, like I've seen my mom working on them. Like they should be sent out. If you don't have them already, they're coming in a week or 2. So yeah, get locked in. It's about
theme
time.
reveal.
The theme will be revealed.
Or
you want to get to do it now?
No, I thought it was revealed.
Oh, it was. So I don't.
Oh yeah, you know, on Instagram. Yeah, the theme was revealed on Instagram. So
it's
pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Family ties.
Featuring Kendrick Lamar.
That's the only thing I think about.
Exactly. Yeah. Me too.
I just heard the beat in my head.
We unfortunately can't play that song at Hoosier Hysteria.
Well, we can play the beat.
Bum.
We just find the instrumental,
Yeah, we could. It's a tough.
They have the instrumental of any song you could ever want is on YouTube. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because
Q&A with Cammy J. Welcome to everybody's favorite segment, Q&A with Cammy J.
It's also our only segment.
That's my only segment. I feel like that's elaborated upon every single time I say that.
Gotta keep you humble. I gotta keep you humble here.
Yeah.
Next season, we may have more coming. Or not, we will have more coming. I'll say that right now. Not that I have ideas right now, but we'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah. With that being said, do we have questions? Probably not.
No.
No, of course we don't.
No.
Yeah, you guys got to work on that with us next
Yeah.
year.
Well, a little bit of grace. It is the end of the season.
Well, it is also just season 1, you know,
True.
so
Yeah.
season 2.
Season 1s are typically not the greatest of the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Next season, we got to figure
y'all
something out.
gotta lock in.
Any show I can think of, season 1 is not the greatest.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
Office
very true.
season 1 has a couple good episodes. It's not the greatest.
Phineas and Ferb season 1's pretty good.
It's fine. Like I will say, Phineas and Ferb season 1 is the worst season though.
Out of them all?
Yeah, it's good, but it's probably of the first 4 run. I think
I guess
season
it's just
season
nostalgia.
season 5 is good. Season 1 has more classic episodes, and
Yeah,
obviously
that's-
that just comes with time. But
I think that was my reasoning for liking season 1, just because there's so many just like iconic episodes.
yeah, I will say though, I think I like the humor between season 1 and season 2. It kind of changes, and I think I like the humor. Like it's funnier once you get past season 1. But yeah, season 1 of Phineas and Ferb is good, but it's still not the best season if you ask me. Drake and Josh, if I have any Drake and Josh fans, season 1 is not good. I don't think I've ever rewatched season 1 of Drake and Josh. I always just start at season 2, which I do the same thing with The Office. Arrested Development season 1 is pretty good, but it's kind of a different thing though, because Arrested Development, like it's just one big story across the whole 3 seasons.
Season 1 of the Clone Wars isn't great, I guess, now that you bring that up.
I don't think I haven't watched the Clone Wars series. I've heard it's good though.
In my opinion, the worst season is the Netflix season. That's the one where Fives finds out about Order 66.
No, I like that one.
I
It
think
kinda
I think
adds
that
some
I think that
context
one.
and background to all of episode 3 and Order
I guess
66 itself.
season 1 of The Mandalorian was really good.
Yes.
It was.
But-
it was.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know if it's just because my interest in Star Wars waned once season 2 and 3 roll around, or if it was just because season 1 was actually just that good. I don't know.
Season 1 was. I think all 3 of them were good, but
Yeah. I was having this discussion the other day. I want to bring it to you guys because you guys would know about this. So I'm going to bring it up here because I think we can have a good discussion about this. I firmly believe Disney Plus killed all the momentum that Marvel and Star Wars had.
I think that. I'm not
And
really
let me make my case, and then you guys can argue.
Okay.
So we all know Disney started to kill Star Wars before Disney Plus was a thing. You know,
Yeah.
Force Awakens was a fine movie, but
The
Last
8, 9
Jedi,
were not,
8
yeah.
and 9 were
They were rough.
they were rough. And I mean, I haven't watched them since they came out, so I'll have a more firm opinion on them when I do like a Star Wars rewatch this summer, which I plan on doing. But I think my key one word that I would use to highlight my point here is oversaturation.
Mm-hmm.
You get to Endgame, and this is around when Disney Plus comes out, right? COVID hits, which, you know, just happens to be perfect timing for Disney Plus. And you just see a boatload of stuff released on both Star Wars and Marvel, right? And I think this is more of a problem for Marvel than it is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars, you had Mandalorian, you had Obi-Wan, you had Boba Fett, which after Boba Fett, I don't know the order, but like the last Star Wars stuff I watched was like Mando season 3 and like Obi-Wan, and then like I watched the first half of Boba Fett, but I thought it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
But I say this because now there's just so much to watch that if you want to keep in with the storyline, and you know, with film series like Marvel and like Star Wars, there's this big overarching storyline, and so to keep up with all of it, it's just almost impossible at this point unless you're really dedicated. And I think it's more of a problem with Marvel because with Star Wars, at least, it's this huge timeline
Yeah.
where like you could skip something like Obi-Wan and you'd be fine.
Yeah, you'd be.
But like with Marvel, the crossover is so intricate and so intertwined that like Doomsday's coming out soon, right? Avengers Doomsday. If you're telling me I have to watch WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye, Doctor Strange, the second Black Panther, like if I have to watch all of these things, Doomsday could be the best movie of the decade. I'm not going to watch it because if I have to watch so much just to understand what's happening, I'm not going to do it. And so that's for me what's killed Marvel is like even at the time that Endgame came out, it was still a lot, but like you only got 1 or 2 Marvel projects per year. Now you're getting like six to eight now
Yeah.
per year, and that's not even just movies. That's including shows and like spin-offs. And so like there's so much that is canon that it's impossible to stay up to date. That's my take. You guys can while you're doing that, I'm gonna look up all the Marvel and Star Wars stuff that's come out just so I can continue my point. But you guys can go ahead. And
well, I don't disagree with you. I think that I think the reason that they're got killed is because it's harder to be like a fan. Because I think that if you're a fan, like you know things about it, you enjoy certain things about it. But there's so much Star Wars and Marvel things to keep up with. Like, if you get into a conversation with like an average Star Wars fan, you're going to be really underhanded because you don't know what they're talking about because there's so much for you to know.
Yeah.
That you don't know, right? So whenever they were just releasing a couple movies every year, maybe a show every once in a while, like you had a bunch of time to like catch up. But now there's just stuff being crammed down your throat in both franchises. I feel like it's kind of difficult to keep up, and therefore people lose interest. And I'm not saying, and I also think that a big thing, like whenever George Lucas still had Star Wars, that was his baby. Like Star Wars was his, and so he cared a lot about it, and he brought people onto his staff that cared a lot about it, and therefore they pumped out a ton of really quality things.
Yeah.
Disney, I mean, they're a franchise, so they're in it for the revenue. They're in it for the money. Now, they have hired people that really care about Star Wars, and that, as of recently, have been doing a good job on putting out better quality things. But like Disney itself is obviously just in it for the money, and they're going to make money based off of the better quality of the things that they're putting out. And so, therefore, they're hiring better people as of late.
For sure.
To make them more quality. But there was a span there, like in COVID. Like whenever Disney Plus first came out, it was rough.
Yeah, and sure. I mean, George Lucas himself has been quoted as to saying that selling Star Wars to Disney was like selling his children to white slaves. Like that is legitimately a quote from George Lucas. Yeah. But I just want to read, and these are just movies, by the way. This is not including shows that have hours of content within them. Since Endgame and Far From Home, this is the movies that have been released for Star Wars. Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, which I forgot about.
Black Widow had a movie?
Yeah. Oh, that was like the first one after Endgame and Far From Home. I'm pretty sure, it was a Disney Plus original. Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther, and then that's just movies, right? Which, if you're looking at just movie, and then this list is definitely not complete because there's the new Spider-Man movies coming out. This is the bad list. Let me look at this again.
Do you want me to just name them?
Yeah, if you know them, Deaven, go right ahead.
So after Black Panther, there's Ant-Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Captain Marvel 2. I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head.
I'm gonna go to Letterboxd. I trust Letterboxd more.
Deadpool 3.
Oh, I forgot Deadpool. I forgot about Deadpool. Right.
Venom 3.
I don't know that there was that many Venom movies.
I mean, either.
And again, these are not bashing these movies.
No, these could be great movies.
I've seen a handful of them, and they're good. It's just it's so much to like keep up with that it's making being a fan harder.
Captain America 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's not even with Chris Evans.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Okay,
Fantastic Four.
I have the whole list here. So after Far From Home, WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Hawkeye, No Way Home, Moon Knight, which I forgot about Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, Ms. Marvel, Thor: Love and Thunder, She-Hulk, Wakanda Forever. I'm not going to count the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. I'm not counting that. Quantumania.
It was good, though.
Anime Quantumania. Actually, I'll say this again. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Secret Invasion, The Marvels, Deadpool Wolverine, Agatha All Along, Captain America Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and then the new Spider-Man movie, and then Doomsday. Which, these could all be great projects, but Marvel has so much overlap that I feel like if I'm like, I do want to watch the new Doomsday movie, like, how much am I going to have to watch?
You're going to be just lost. Yeah.
Like, I know I at least have to watch Fantastic Four, because Doom is a Fantastic Four villain, right?
I believe.
So I know for sure that one, but...
So... Never mind, I don't want to spoil anything. So.
Well, yeah, it's okay. If you're going to spoil something, then...
I don't want to spoil anything, so...
It's so much. And I feel like Star Wars is a little more excusable.
I will say, though, 80% of that stuff that's come out, you can go without watching it to watch Doomsday.
Okay.
There's it might sound like a lot, but there's very few things you can watch leading up to Doomsday.
Okay.
That you just, I mean, I know a lot of people aren't big Deadpool fans, but Deadpool and Wolverine's one of the big ones that leads up into it.
Okay.
So,
because I don't know, like it's just a lot to like research, and I don't know. I think Marvel is the most affected by this because there's just so much, but I feel like it killed Star Wars more.
Because mainly what Marvel's problem was they were trying to make it with the villain Kang coming up, but then the whole legal stuff with that actor happened, and so that kind of killed their plans. And that's where a lot of stuff like Ant-Man 3, Loki, all that was registered towards that villain. But now you can go without watching that stuff to still understand Doomsday because they're making new stuff for Doom.
Okay.
So who all is in this Doomsday movie? Like, is it the OG Avengers or is it all the new characters?
It's
Robert Downey Jr.'s back.
The only OG Avengers that are in it are Thor and Chris Evans, Captain America. That's it.
How does he come back? Does that spoil anything?
So, Endgame, whenever he goes back in time, it's him from that timeline.
Oh. So he's just old. Wait, so is this in the past?
It's whenever he's gone back.
Yeah, whenever he's gone back after returning the stones, he decided to stay back with Peggy. Mm-hmm. And then basically just, I don't know.
So is this an old... is this an old Captain America, or is this take place in the
it's
past?
Captain America of the past.
Okay. Yes, and then he comes back.
So okay, wait. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try this one more time, and if it doesn't make sense, then we'll just drop it. So, Captain America, who went back into the past, time jumped into the future, or is this just okay?
He time jumps into the present.
Okay, so it's not.
So there's two Captain Americas now. There's the old and the young.
So there's two Captain Americas in this timeline. One that's super old and carried out the timeline normally, and then one that jumped to the present.
Yes.
Interesting. Cool.
What the heck? Okay.
But
cool beans.
But
Go for Marvel.
Well, he's not going to be identified as Captain America in the movie because that's now Sam Wilson's title of the Falcon's title. Mm-hmm. But in trailer concept art, he's wielding Thor's hammer again. So.
Hot take.
That's
Captain America should have just died as just like Captain America and not passed it on to another dude.
They should have casted somebody other than Robert Downey Jr. to play Doom. Because how are you going to cast somebody that's already super prevalent?
They got a story for that.
They do?
Of course they do.
They do. See, that's
where
Doctor Strange.
But I feel like a little bit of that. You know, they're motivated by that green.
That's where Doctor Strange 2 comes into play with the story that's going to happen with Doom.
Okay.
It's so intricate, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
See, here's the thing, and then turning back to Star Wars, I think...
Oh, Star Wars has just died.
Yeah,
Completely.
Star Wars...
Unfortunately, yeah.
I think Star Wars died with the sequel trilogy.
Yes.
Because you look at... The only reason I've dived into this is because one of my classes in college about film has been talked about this for a week or so. But the original Star Wars, if you look at not even just the first one, but the first 6, not only is it like it has this whole universe building, like it has all of this storyline and stuff like that, but there's also so much other like deeper meaning within it. Like you can find like so many other smaller things about like, you know, anti-authoritarianism, stuff like that. But then you get to Force Awakens and it's just like, yay, space. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? And then the whole Force Awakens plotline is just the New Hope plotline, just retextured. And then they just were like...
Let's bring back old characters.
Let's just...
So Oscar Isaac, who plays Poe, he flat out said that this was the worst line he's ever said in acting. Somehow Palpatine has returned.
Yeah.
So him and John Boyega were like openly clowned the sequels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, if your own actors are making
legitimately somehow Palpatine returns. It might be the worst line of cinema I've ever seen.
Yes.
Because by saying somehow Palpatine returns, not only are you just completely discrediting like everything, like the whole end of episode 6 where, you know, Darth Vader, you know, has his final moment.
Yeah.
You're not only are you discrediting that, but like what makes me believe he can't just come back again? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
well-
just saying somehow he returns. Like, is he ever actually dead?
Because like I have the Rise of Skywalker book that explains how he comes back.
Yeah,
So that whole thing on Exegol that he had,
Yeah.
it was a cloning factory, and he came back through a clone.
I've heard
Which
that
you
before.
shouldn't have to do extra research to understand a movie.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Well, I
that's
also-
my stance.
What's dang, I think I just completely forgot what I was going to say.
Dang.
But
That sucks.
like,
Hold on.
have you watched the new Maul series that's come out yet? That's good. I mean, it's really good. It's animated like the Clone Wars and all
I
that.
think I've
Well,
heard of
it's
that.
because the guy that ran the Clone Wars is running this. They rehired him.
Yeah, but it's a really good series, and I mean, I'd recommend it. But I mean, it basically takes place after the final season of Clone Wars, just Maul running through everything.
Oh, so what I was going to say was, I also hate the Rey Skywalker line. Like,
Yes.
like literally, like Leia.
Stormtrooper to Jedi would have been such a cooler time.
Well, no.
storyline.
Also, like, so if you think about her having the right to call herself that, first of all, Luke didn't really like you that much.
Yeah.
Also, you had like 3 or 4 scenes with Leia, and we just are told that you guys like each other because you have these like tracking chips with one another. Like, there's just no depth to their relationships for her to have the right to say, "Hey, Skywalker." Dude.
All I'm gonna say is,
And she buried Luke's lightsaber. Like, that's just not right for her to do, bro.
all I'm gonna say is they fulfilled Harrison Ford's wish from the New Hope.
It's true.
After the New Hope, Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo killed.
Yeah.
And they didn't kill him off. But that's the only good thing that they did for him.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Also, like, there's the scenes of, like, in just The Force Awakens itself, of, like, Han using Chewie's bow and, like, shooting the Stormtrooper. He, like, flies back, like, yards and yards. And then, like, Kylo Ren stabs Han. Chewie shoots him. He just, like, takes it in the chest and just stands there. It's like, oh!
Yeah.
Like, where
that
did
really hurt.
Yeah, like, where did the power of the bow go?
Yeah. I just, and you even just look at like a cinematography standpoint. Go look at a lightsaber scene from the first 3 movies, and then go watch one from the sequel trilogy. And you can make the argument that it's like, oh, but the Jedi art is lost, whatever. But it's like, it's just objectively cooler to watch. It's just objectively cooler to watch Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor just go like.
Well, they kill lightsabers because, like, in the original trilogy, obviously, like, the original lightsaber duel of Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, it's not that pleasing, but it's 1979, right?
Actually, it's 77.
77. So then whenever you get to ROTJ, whenever they're fighting on the Death Star, Luke and Darth Vader, it's a lot better. Then you get to the prequels and it's like peak.
They had to
it's so fast.
They
and
had to slow down those fights. So you
it's
could see
awesome.
what was happening.
Well,
That's actually
they're literally
insane.
just like whipping around with their wrists, right? Then you get to the sequels and they're so heavy. They're like flipping them around and like literally one of the most beloved characters of all time, Qui-Gon Jinn, just gets stabbed in the chest and dies. But then Rey stabs Kylo Ren and then just like heals him. Like, where did she learn to get that power? like Qui-Gon Jinn died for no reason. Like, bro, it's just so aggravating.
They have healing power this whole
The
time.
thing that aggravates me the most is Disney has killed this part, especially Order 66. They're like, oh, I'm one of very few Jedi who's remained. If you watch Obi-Wan, hundreds of Jedi are written on the board of the Jedi that's still alive. Disney killed that.
Yeah. Disney just,
They killed that. Order 66. I was like, it's one of the most tragic moments in Star Wars, and they had to ruin it.
Yeah, no, Disney killed Star Wars. I think Marvel, is a little bit easier to be saved because, like you can just, make a superhero movie. Disney has killed Star Wars. Full heart.
Yes, I'm gonna watch the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I will go watch that because one of my favorite bounty hunters from the Clone Wars is coming back, Imbo. He's coming back in it, so I'm gonna go watch it. And do you know that big old buff Jabba? Yeah. That's Jabba the Hutt's son from the Clone Wars movie.
Oh yeah,
from the Clone Wars movie. That's Jabba's son. I was wondering where he's been all this time.
Well, did you know in the original A New Hope, before they had CGI, Jabba was just played by a normal guy?
No, okay.
And then I had to re-put Jabba.
Funny story about that.
Yeah,
so
that's
in my class I was just talking about, we watched, as close as you can get to the original cut of the movie.
Yeah,
that scene's not even in there.
Is it really?
No. They just allude to Jabba, and then they just talk about Jabba. They don't
Because
actually
then,
go to
like, you
Jabba.
also have the Emperor, whenever Vader's talking to him, looks much different.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is until Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, yeah.
But like in the original cut, me and Camden were talking about this earlier. Han originally shoots first in the original cut.
Han shoots first, and that George Lucas. Okay, he made great movies. Don't get me wrong. That was such. I don't know if it was his doing or if it was the doing of whatever. What company owned Star Wars at that point? Was it Warner?
I think it was
Whoever,
just Lucasfilm.
Oh, it was just Lucasfilm, right? So having Han shoot first is such an important part of his character that they just strip him away from.
Yeah.
Like Han Solo being this like, I don't care, I will kill whoever stands in my way. That is Han Solo, not Greedo shooting first and then he just shoots back. Like that just is such a foundational part of his character that they just kind of gloss over once the remakes happen. And speaking of all the remakes, I don't like George Lucas's just obsession with CGI. Like 2000 hit, the 2000s hit, and George Lucas is like, I'm gonna add CGI to every single scene I possibly can. It's like, why?
It's like standing in green screen, just like talking to one. It's like, watching like the actual live cuts are good.
Well, you ruined the original. You ruined New Hope because now there's just like a 2.5 minute scene of just like when they're in whatever that bar place is called. I don't know what it's called. They don't say it in the movie, but like when
Cantina.
Cantina. When they go in there, there's just like a whole other scene of these like weird CGI creatures, and like not having that just makes the movie better. But I don't know.
So, I thought this the first time they came out. Now it's flipped for me. I thought Solo was one of the best movies Disney's ever done.
Really?
And then I thought Rogue One was just dead awful.
Oh no!
The first time I watched it. Mm-hmm. Now that I've rewatched them, they're flipped. I think Solo's dead awful.
I like Solo.
I think Solo's.
I hear people say that Rogue One is the best.
And
Rogue One is the best of Disney's.
I love Rogue One.
Yeah, no, Rogue One is
Rogue
the best
One.
of Disney's put out.
I think it's more because of the Andor series that came out.
Really?
So Andor takes place like season 2. Basically, the ending goes right into Rogue One.
Okay.
Like it just goes right into Rogue One. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling, since I got to know Cassian Andor throughout that series, it's helped me understand Rogue One better. And so I like Rogue One now. Rogue One's the best movie Star Wars has put out since Disney.
Yeah, I agree.
Rogue One is...
I don't understand all about this. So
I'm just glad, too, because Rogue One is such a cool concept. I'm glad that they pulled it off and it wasn't wasted by Disney. Like, I'm glad that they actually...
Rogue One was amazing.
No, but another batch I have of the sequels is A New Hope. Okay, so if you go back and look at all the Star Wars movies, you don't ever end on a cliffhanger, really. Like,
thank you. I was actually going to bring this up.
Like, I understand, like, there's the fight at the end of Empire Strikes Back, but like, you literally get the understanding that there's going to be another movie because, like, Luke and Leia are sitting there looking at the galaxy, and the fight is over. End of A New Hope, Death Star blows up. There's probably going to be another movie because it says Episode 4 at the beginning. We're not on a cliffhanger, right? And at Episode 3, the duel on Mustafar is over. Anakin is now Darth Vader. You're not like waiting on something. It ties into 4.
Yep.
End of Force Awakens. Literally, Rey is sitting there holding a lightsaber to Luke. Ends the movie. And then the next year, you don't get Episode 8. You get Rogue One. Again, love Rogue One. But you are waiting 2 years for the next like chronological movie. Yeah. And the first scene is Luke throwing the lightsaber off of the cliff.
You wait 2
like
years
you gave us a
build-up.
cliffhanger for the worst possible. Like, it's the worst cliffhanger.
The worst
of all
possible
time.
route you could take.
It's we waited 2 years to watch him chuck the lightsaber off the cliff.
And this is a problem that I have that extends beyond Star Wars. I have this problem with the Spider-Verse movie, the second one that came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every movie in a series should have a conclusive ending, even if it doesn't wrap up the larger story, right? Because you were just saying, each movie in the first, in the original series of Star Wars, I mean, obviously because the first Star Wars was its own movie. It was a standalone.
Yeah.
But, that series as a whole, each movie has a conclusive ending that wraps up its sub-story within the larger story.
You could have ended the movie there, but you also have a path to continue.
Yeah, and that's why I think people who make movies, knowing that they're going to have a movie afterwards can be such a detriment. Mm-hmm. Because Spider-Verse, for example, at the end of the credits, they're like, this will return and what is it called? Across the Spider-Verse? What's the third one going to be called?
I think Beyond.
The second one's Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
right? And then
I think the
third
it's
Into Across.
Into Across Beyond. Yeah, I think them knowing that they were going to have a third movie killed because that movie is so good. The second movie is extremely
Yes,
good.
I watched
but
it.
I
Yes.
hate the ending because
Yes.
cliffhanger. It's such a bad ending because you have to have a reason for a cliffhanger. Because I think it has to be cliffhanger endings have to be up for interpretation, or the second part of it is like. I mean, okay, I haven't seen Wicked, so I'm not going to say this, but like Wicked, everyone knew is 2 parts because it's a play.
Yeah.
So like if it's like something like that where 2 parts completely makes sense, like if you're adapting a play into a movie. But like Spider-Verse, there's no need to do that. You need to wrap up the story before the end of the movie because we're not going to get. It took forever to get across the Spider-Verse. Who knows how long it's going to be till Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out?
I'm not like dissing on your thing because I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But also, like, I've gone into research of why movies end with cliffhangers. It's so they can get more of an audience in the next one.
You're gonna bring people back this year,
because people are so much like, hey, what's going to happen next? Because I played the Spider-Man games on PlayStation. The first one ended perfectly fine. The second one ended with 3 different cliffhangers. Like, what happened to Harry after he got the Venom symbiote off of him? And then Osborn, well, we all know what he's talking about. The Green Goblin boy goes, bring me the G serum. And then he visits Doc Ock in a prison. Doc Ock goes, it's time for the final chapter. What's the final chapter? And then that's just where the game ends. The story ends for the game. And I'm like, so we got to wait till 2028.
Exactly.
Whenever the PlayStation 6 comes out to figure out what the final chapter is.
And you know what? If they weren't worried, if you make a good enough story, you don't have to worry about retaining an audience because they're going to come back for your next one. But you know what? I think they're motivated by money, like all corporations are. And so in order to satisfy that itch of having the ending, they have to get them to come back. So
here's my question: do you think Infinity War and Endgame did the good cliffhanger thing?
See, that is a little bit iffier because I think. See, the end of Infinity War is right when the snap happens, and then I think that is a little more excusable.
Yes,
because we have already had like that in itself is like such a. Can I spoil Spider-Verse so I can make my point?
Yes.
I'm going to spoil the second Spider-Verse movie, so if you care about that, skip ahead. Click whatever. I think if the second Spider-Verse movie, even if it just ended off at the twist that Miles, it's in a different universe. That would have been a fine enough ending for me. But like the fact that they're all like Spider-Gwen and all them meet up together and then they're running off screen, that's where it ends. I think.
Yes, that was unnecessary.
I think if you're gonna, because like we all know Avengers is gonna have Endgame and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think if you know that you're gonna have a series, and you know there's gonna be like another movie to complete the series, I think it's totally fine if you end on a cliffhanger as long as it's like huge and it's explicitly like.
Yeah.
Because like.
You already knew that another movie was coming.
The Thanos snap works because the movie just ends right there. It doesn't leave any moment of like, oh shoot, there's no time to assess what the effect of it is. Yeah. That's where the next movie starts. So that is like to me a conclusive ending because like everything just gets stripped away and the next movie can just start fresh.
And then like
because like the second Spider-Verse is gonna have to pick up where the last one left off. Endgame just picks up. Like, it's a whole fresh story because the last movie just ended with such a big...
And then it takes place, like, 5 years later, too.
Yeah.
Also, spoiler for Spider-Man Far From Home. So, the ending ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched it.
I haven't watched it, but I don't plan on it, so you can say whatever.
Mysterio comes out and reveals Spider-Man's Peter Parker. And then Peter just goes, what? And then that's where it ends.
Yeah.
But it fits perfectly into No Way Home with it. Like... As soon as that ends, No Way Home picks up as soon as that scene happens. Yeah. So they did that perfectly fine. They did that perfectly fine right there.
That's why I think if you're going to do a cliffhanger, it has to be something big like that.
Because Marvel's good with that. Like, they're good with, well, not like the Spider-Verse, but I mean, they're good with, like, leaving cliffhangers and then picking them right back up, right where they left off.
Because, like, legitimately, Across the Spider-Verse would have been a perfect movie for me if it just didn't have that ending. If it would have just been, like, what's his uncle's name that ends up being...
Aaron.
Prowler.
Oh, yeah, Prowler or Aaron. Uncle Aaron. If it had just been, like, where he's tied up to the punching bag and he just pulls the mask off and it smiles in a different universe, if it had just gone to black there, totally fine. But now, like I said, they have the whole scene where Gwen and like all the other Spider-Men are like crawling around there like, we gotta save Miles, whatever. Like, have that scene before the reveal and it would have been fine. If those two scenes being flipped would have instantly made it perfect for me, but that is such a crucial thing for me that like your movie has to end with either a conclusive ending or a cliffhanger that's going to be able to just have the next movie just start on its own thing, as opposed to picking up the ground from the last one.
Back to the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. I just now thought of this. Mm-hmm. So everyone's in the Millennium Falcon by the end of The Last Jedi, right? Mm-hmm. And Rey's like, this is all that's left. They literally pick up with like thousands of ships on that planet with the Resistance, and I'm like, that's all that's left. But then there's a ton of them left.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
I
was like,
I have
what?
I have so many complaints and yet so much hope with the future of movies, because
I honestly hope the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is good.
Well, here's I hope it's good just because I want to see good movies come out.
Yeah.
I think the next couple years, just got a text on my laptop. I think the next couple years, I think we're going to see a little bit of a renaissance in film, and here's why I say that. This might be a hot take. Project Hail Mary was really good. I know it's adapted from a book, but I pray that Project Hail Mary has no sequels. I hope so much that it's a standalone.
I've not seen that yet.
I would, once it comes to a streaming service or whatever, I think you would really like it.
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, I think you both would really like it. Yeah. It's a fun, not fun, but it's it's a cool.
Channing Tatum, no,
it's Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling, yeah.
But that movie's really good. I've heard, not from critics are bashing it, but I've heard from some people that like Michael Jackson. I've heard the biopic is good.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually go see that tonight. So
really, well, you have to let us know what you think, because I'm kind of interested to hear from someone who's not a critic, and I could get into that, but that's a whole. I don't
see
want to
like the Mario movie. Mm-hmm. I heard the critics say it's really bad. I'm like, oh, I don't believe the critics. And then I've heard people who's watching, and they're like, this movie's awful.
The critics were right on that one.
They're like, this movie's awful.
The Mario Galaxy movie is just pandering the movie. Whatever. And then
I was like,
Christopher Nolan has his Odyssey movie coming out, which
I want to see that.
That has potential to be good, but
I want to see that. Did you? I don't know. I know you guys. This didn't fit in our generation, but this fit in like our parents. See, they're making a live action He-Man movie.
I did see that. I low-key kind of want to watch it because I think it looks fun.
I do.
I kind of want to watch it. Have you guys seen the trailer? This is not actually. Let me finish my point about movie renaissance, and then I'll get into this. I think also with the rise of generative AI, people are longing for human-made content more than ever. Yeah. Because there's never been that alternative of like, this isn't made by a human. I think also people's like people being upset with sequels and like remakes. I think finally the Hollywood model is going to change, because you look at Disney's live action remakes, they are flopping hard. I feel like Moana, of all the Disney remakes, this is the one that's going to like tank Disney. Yeah. Like I think because Disney's losing money fast, by the way. I don't know if you guys are realizing this.
No, they are, yeah.
Disney's animated movies are not pulling in numbers like they used to. And Disney's budget is not going down. So Disney is like
losing.
Disney's falling fast. Yeah. In the last even just the last year or two, Disney's falling fast. Topic for another day. I think we're going to see a rise of like independent filmmakers. Like I think we're going to be in the next, sometime soon, we're going to be in the next Hollywood period of like, Renaissance, and like going against what was like, what turned into like blockbuster culture, and then it turned into like, just making money as opposed to making good films. So I think we're going to go back into that mindset of, yes, what does make money in theaters, because theater is kind of a dying thing, but also as opposed to just like, this is what will bring people in, it's going to be, this is what people will enjoy, because ultimately that's going to yield more results. That's my take on why I think we're going to enter another new like Renaissance film period.
I was honestly shocked that the Michael Jackson movie was at our Walnut Theater.
I'm not surprised.
The Walnut actually gets some good films.
Yeah. See, the thing about the Michael Jackson biopic is, here's another reason why I think it's going to, like, that movie's just pre-sale tickets alone did extremely well. Yeah. And I've heard they had to cut the third act of like the last part of Michael Jackson's life. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a sequel.
Yeah,
it better be named Jackson, by the way. If it's named Michael too, I actually will flip tables.
Yeah. They were talking about a sequel going more into like his story and kind of more like of him getting blamed for stuff that he may have done or didn't do
Well,
it.
'cause
It depends on your opinion for that.
They wanted to do a third act of that stuff, of the, Neverland and him getting accusations, which, that's a whole thing. They wanted to do that third act, but they didn't have the rights to talk about the cases and stuff, so they just cut it. So the film stops, from what I've heard, stops around the bad era of, his career, and then it doesn't go into Dangerous, or I think that's what the album's called. Yeah. And then it doesn't get into like the 90s when that stuff started.
Because I know there's Thriller in the movie, because that one was in the trailer.
Yeah, it has Thriller and Bad, but after that, I think is where it stops. So I won't be surprised if they can get their rights to those, talk about those cases, that there's another one. But, yeah, I don't know.
Because the person making the movie said that if they can get the rights to the cases, they will make a second movie.
Which they should. I think that would be a good thing. But yeah, this goes against my Renaissance point. This is just a film that I want to see. Have you guys seen the trailer for that Sheep Detectives movie?
I have.
I have not.
I think
I want to go. I want to go watch it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. It comes out in like mid-May.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. It reminds me of the Shaun the Sheep movie. I don't know if you watched that.
I thought a little bit.
So
It just looks like a fun movie. I need a fun movie.
These movies have flopped hard, and they are still making more of them. There's a new Minions movie coming out.
Yeah, no, you got to end it there, bro.
No, because I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head what kind of money those movies are making. The last Despicable Me 4 is so bad and forgettable.
Yeah.
And I saw a take a while ago that I hate if this is true. Despicable Me 4 is just like a bunch of segments of storyline.
Uh-huh.
And I have a theory that it's because they want their movie to be cut up and put on like shorts and like TikTok and like Instagram. And the movie is just so bad and forgettable. I'm shocked that they're getting, they're still getting Steve Carell and Kristen Wiig. Like, I'm surprised. I mean, they're making a ton of money, so I'm sure that's how. But
yeah, no,
I'm
the individual
surprised
actors
that-
are making bank. Yeah.
But it's gonna be called Minions and Monsters.
I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I won't be watching.
I will not be watching
And then
it.
after Doomsday, they're coming out with an Angry Birds 3.
Yeah, that also needs to stop.
Angry Birds. I forgot there was even an Angry Birds 2. That was
Exactly.
like a while ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think Project Hail Mary doing so well gives me hope.
I really want to see that though.
I would be, because I think it's going to be on Prime, because I think it had some sort of, which unfortunately Amazon is like attached to the project. That's the only thing that makes me sad, is that Project Hail Mary is attached to Amazon. So that kind of sucks, but it's a really good movie.
So I kind of thought about this. You were talking about cliffhangers.
Yeah.
So do you I understand what series is doing it. Like leading into the next one and stuff.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Like series is
I think, like, what do you mean by series? Like
episode.
oh
after
yeah, that's
episode?
fine.
They're
That's
fine, yeah. But
I
as far
think-
as movies go,
I think it's fine. It's a little, you get into some muddy water when you get from season to season. Like season 1 is cliffhanger, season 2. I think that's a little more iffy, but I would excuse that more because it's meant to be watched in segments.
Yeah.
Whereas a whole film, it's like, not only do those take forever to make, it's like you have to commit to it's like a whole thing, as opposed to an episode where, like, sure, a season is a whole thing, but like it's divided into segments, and so I feel like it makes a little more sense to end a season or an episode on a cliffhanger.
So are you guys gonna go watch Toy Story 5?
no, I mean,
Nope.
I'll probably see it eventually.
Nope.
I don't plan on watching it when it comes out. No.
I will not pay money to watch that movie because I'm specifically boycotting it.
Did you see the movie Pixar movie that's been confirmed for either next year or 2 years?
Oh boy.
If it's Incredibles 3, is it actually? I feel like I remember seeing that.
It's Incredibles 3.
I've heard that as well.
Where can they go? Where can they go? I would be fine if they made a Frozone movie, but like an
honestly,
Incredibles 3 is not necessary. It's not at any reason. Pixar
So I think they're gonna make it more.
Pixar's fall from grace needs to be studied because
Pixar's
up
never
and
been by Disney, though,
up
right?
they've always been owned by Disney.
That's what everybody tells me that, like.
So hold on.
Somebody says, like, "What's your favorite Disney movie?" And I say Pixar movie. You can't do that.
So for a
They've
while,
always been the same.
so whenever Toy Story 1 came out,
I'm gonna go blow my nose. I'll be back.
Disney and Pixar, I don't know if they owned them at the time, but they weren't getting along.
Disney, yeah, okay, so Pixar was a subsection of Lucasfilm that focused specifically on CGI short films. So it was like George Lucas was not necessarily directly involved, but like he owned that division, right? So eventually Pixar branched into his own thing, and they were selling like computers, they were making short films, things like that. And then eventually they were like, well, we want to make this whole feature-length film through CGI. So when that project happened, they needed funding. They went to Disney because they weren't necessarily owned by Lucasfilm anymore. So they went to Disney, and they got the funding from Disney, and so Disney oversaw the Toy Story project.
So, actually, fun fact about them not getting along.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the gas station, whenever Buzz turns around and walks away, you can see a Disney, like, the word Disney on Buzz's butt. And that's a reference towards them not getting along.
Well, because there is some history behind that, because the first draft of Toy Story that they actually took to Disney, which they call it like the, I don't know, it's like the Black Friday tape or something. I don't know. They have a name for it. It did so bad that Disney was like, rewrite this movie or we're out. And so they restructured it. And then, so, I mean, for any film that Pixar has made, Disney has owned them. And I think just like how Disney fell off around 2019, Pixar kind of did the same thing. Mm-hmm. Pixar's fall off happened a little more around like 2022, though, I would say. Because like Soul was still good, Luca was still good. While I'm not a fan of Turning Red, it was fine as a story. I don't like it necessarily. It's not my thing, but and then I don't know about like newer films like Elio. It might be fine, but like Elemental isn't great. I like the fact that Elemental was made, like they brought in a new director to tell the story they wanted, but yeah.
So I guess the woman that was in charge of making the sequel for the movies, I guess, or like she was running that division, she got fired.
What, for Star Wars?
Mm-hmm.
I think that she stepped down because everybody was clowning her.
Yeah.
And so I think that she stepped down.
Yeah.
But the guy that they hired was the guy that ran Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like we're getting them all. And he's already okayed a bunch of movies to come out like in 2027, 2028.
Because I saw we're going to get another animated series. Or they might, I think they're pushing for live action with Hayden Christensen. But they might do a Vader series. Because like I haven't read any of them, but I've heard about them. So like Prime Vader is in between the third and fourth movie. That's Prime Vader.
Yeah, it's whenever the Empire's starting to take away.
That's Prime Vader, and they're going to do a story of Prime Vader.
I support that because we do kind of want. I think that is kind of a gap because I am curious in how the Empire goes from where it is in the first film to where it's growing to where it is where it has taken over.
Yeah, so like
I think that's a series that I can.
Well, so then you also have, like I would always question how whenever they made the news that he was coming back for the Ahsoka series, I was like, he's old now. But then like makeup wise and like even his muscle memory with the lightsaber, like his scenes in Ahsoka as Anakin turning like before he's Darth Vader are actually really really good. So, I wouldn't mind a Vader series with a Christensen.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts of that like thing though with them is the live action Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah.
That was because everybody's been wanting that. Like live action Clone Wars movie or something. And then they eventually brought that in, but yeah, they said Hayden Christensen might be doing.
Well, that's because whenever the prequels came out, everybody clowned how terrible they were and how terrible. So he won multiple like awards for like worst actor of the year or like worst performance of the year, and his acting is not great. And Attack of the Clones, it's not great. It's better than Revenge of the Sith. But like nowadays, like really since COVID, and everybody like kind of zoned back into like, oh, we have nothing to do. Let's watch Star Wars. Like now, everybody loves Hayden Christensen.
Well, here's the thing,
and I love him.
And this will, because we probably need to wrap up soon. This will be at least my last point.
Yeah,
I don't blame the actors in the original.
The writing is not.
Funny story about this. So I actually did learn about this whenever reading for Star Wars and stuff for my class. So George Lucas, when he did the original screening for the first Star Wars, everyone, like including Mark Hamill and like Harrison Ford, when they were doing this, they were like, George, we cannot. This does not make any sense. Yeah. We would not be saying this. Like, there was like one line in particular that Mark Hamill, I saw an interview of him doing this, and he was like, there was one line that he had to read, and he'd go up to George and he's like, George, nobody talks like this.
Yeah.
And so, he had to like work around that. He got writers and stuff, and George Lucas only directed the fourth movie. Fifth and sixth he just wrote and produced. Here's the difference. He directed all three of the original three movies, or the prequels, and he also wrote them. We get to that's where we get lines like "I hate sand."
Yeah.
Because George Lucas, writes the movies, and fun fact about George Lucas, he does not like being told no.
Yeah.
So when he has full creative control over the prequels, while they are good movies, we get lines like that where they don't really make sense and they don't sound like anything that I would talk. So I don't put hate on Hayden Christensen for that. I just blame George Lucas and whoever let him do that in the writer's room.
They're animals. I slaughter them like animals. I can't watch that scene. I just can't.
I saw something the other day. So, in the Phantom Menace, whenever Maul's come in and Anakin and Qui-Gon run back to the ship, if Maul would have jumped any sooner and opened up his lightsaber, he could have just ended the entire prequel series right there.
That's
he could have
another
just
point
ended the entire thing right there.
Like that,
and the fact that all those other droids got shot off the ship and R2's just right there fixing the entire thing.
That's actually a funny thing. So when George Lucas made Star Wars, he thought it would flop. And so him and Steven Spielberg just went to like Hawaii or something because, it was harder to know how your movie was doing. So him and Steven Spielberg went to Hawaii, and they got they got notified that George Lucas' Star Wars was doing really well and selling out. And so, while they were there at Hawaii, they started talking about, George Lucas was like, well, what film do you want to make? Steven Spielberg was like, well, I wanted to make James Bond, but they won't let me. And so he was like, well, I have this little movie I've written called Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history.
Yeah.
I love those movies.
Yeah, which we could talk about that, but we're going to take forever. I'll make one last point, too. This is just a fun fact about George Lucas. Whenever he went to Hawaii with Steven Spielberg, George Lucas did this thing called Lucky Sand Castles, where at the point of the high tide, where the sand is hard, he would build a sand castle. And then if it was there by morning, that means your film did really well. And if it got swept away by the tide, your film was a flop. Yeah. Fun fact for you listeners out there. We're not going to keep rambling because we would be here for hours, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching. This has turned into Who's Your Stereo / the film podcast.
Yeah, really has.
There's at least 3 or 4 episodes where we just ramble about Pixar or whatever. So this is what happens when we get to the end of the season and we don't know what to talk about.
Next
or this is what, if you don't like this, then send in some freaking questions.
Yeah. Next segment for this Sam's movie.
I would do that. I would actually do that.
Cinema with Sam.
Cinema with Sam.
When we meet, whenever we do every other week for this, I would totally be game for just watching a movie and then writing a report about it and then just coming and talking about it. You know what? Stay tuned for season 2 because I might have a segment.
Yeah, that might be tough.
Anyways, so thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell so you know when our last episode is going up, and then also when season 2 starts.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to say?
I'm all good.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time for our final episode of the first season.
See you guys.